Okay, hey there, Tom. Oh, Gold, Jodechi, Karuna, Karuna's partner. Hello there. Okay. And, oh, I can't hear the audio. Let's see here.
Hello, Bante.
Okay, I can hear. Yeah, hello.
How you doing today?
Uh, every day is a nice day in southern Italy so far. So it's going well.
You'll have to make your way to Vancouver, Canada sometime.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll head up there eventually, somehow.
I know there's a few Zen temples in Van. I wonder if you could reach out to them.
There's one Dharma Drum Center, I believe, and I have some connections to that tradition. So, yeah, sometime come up and visit. Hey there, Nino and Nikki and Danny, Connor,
Hello,
Clip,
Bante.
Kat, Suraj, Anna.
Is my microphone working?
Yeah, it's working good, Nino. I can hear you. So we will be coming together to practice some meditation. Hey there, 80. And everyone, of course, is encouraged, invited to share their camera if it's easy, if it's possible. When we are around other people, there tends to be a sense of urgency, a sense of intimacy, a sense of aliveness. And so, um, even though we're not all physically together at this moment, um, we can still feel that aliveness and that urgency as we see each other, as we experience each other's presence um, at this moment. Welcome, Linda. So, as we are coming into this space together, we firstly want to make sure that we're comfortable, that the body is comfortable. Maybe seated in a chair or laying down or sitting on a bed of roses, could be anything, but just to make sure that you're comfortable, stable. And it's nice when we start our meditation that we take a moment to consider the body, the position of the body, how it's being held, how it is at this moment. And that immediately kind of brings us to awareness of our body. When we are really focused on work or social activities, especially when online and during the pandemic, a lot of people's work and social activities have been online or through our phone. It can really be that we almost totally forget the body. We forget the importance of the body. And we don't want to wait until there's some kind of major sickness, major illness, or catastrophe before we become aware of the body, because while the body can be a source of pain, can be a source of discomfort, and that's okay. It's true, it's reality, so it might as well be okay. The body is also a source of peace, joy, happiness, contentment, all those things that we value so much, that we think we need to do something to get from outside. We need to buy it, or we need to plan for it, or we need to change it. That so many of these desires that we have can be satisfied, satiated in this awareness of the body, this contentment that we can find in the body at this moment. So to sit comfortably and start to emphasize our breathing, we become distinctly aware of our breath, that the breath is happening. And not the breath happening in a vague way, not the idea of breathing, but the physicality, the lived experience at this moment of the breath happening. We start to take as our primary activity, our main focus, the happening of breathing. Meditation is a little bit different from the other activities that we do in the world. Meditation, the best meditation, is not done with any kind of goal, any kind of expectation. But rather, our practice of meditation is to be, to stop this goal-oriented effort. And it's a very open, fresh, dynamic experience. It's quite lucid, it's quite alive to not be in a state of seeking, to not be in a state of doing something for the purpose of a result. So sitting comfortably, sitting upright in a stable position, with our mind's eye, our full awareness, experiencing the happening of breathing. The breath is happening, and we are aware. Aware without judgment, aware without needing to solve or fix or to change. Breathing, we can be aware of the aliveness of the body. The fluidity, the changing nature of the body moment by moment. We can notice, we can be clearly aware that the body is not our thoughts about it. Being aware of the body is not being aware of thoughts about the body, our idea of the body, but it is a lived experience that we begin to notice. So much of meditation is not doing something, it is allowing. Allowing ourselves to be still. Allowing the body to be still. Not using it for any purpose, any reason, just allowing it to be still. Allowing the breath to happen in exactly the way that we need it to happen. There's no place, there's no need for judgment, for fixing, for adjusting the breath. We just allow the breath to happen in the way that it needs to happen. The way that it is happening at this moment. Let gravity do its work. Let the body and mind settle more and more. That is to allow the body and mind to be the way that they are. Let thoughts arise and pass away freely. Treat each thought as a guest that is not particularly wanted, but also not particularly unwanted. So allow this guest of thinking, whatever thought, whatever dream, to come up, to be present, and to go away without any interference, any confusion. Aware of your body, and fully invested in your breathing, moment by moment. And so this awareness of the body and this being fully with the breath is our way of being a good host. Our way of being fully aware of those thoughts, pains, difficulties, all coming by freely. We don't need to invite them, going away freely. We don't need to ask them to leave or to push them out, but just through this way of aware of the body sitting here, breathing, guests coming and going without any interference. As an innkeeper, as a host, there are many responsibilities, many jobs, a lot of busyness that we get involved with. Now is a time where the jobs are done. The inn is well oiled, heated, cleaned. Everything is exactly the way that it should be at this moment. And our responsibility now as the host, as the innkeeper of our body, our mind, our breath, is to allow these guests of thinking, pleasant and unpleasant sensations, to come freely and to go freely, not to interfere with them, not to bother with them, just to be aware, just to be present. Just breathing and being aware. Allow those real thoughts, those important thoughts, those things that we can't let go of, that we need to be involved with. Allow those thoughts to melt away. If it's that important, it will be there later. If the guest is that essential, they will come back later. So the body sitting comfortably still, aware of the body, that is to be aware that the body is here, sitting still. Invested in and continuing to invest in our process of breathing. Breathing deeply when we need to. Being uninvolved with the breath when we need to. As we practice being aware, not holding on to anything, not holding on to anyone, the body and the breath, the mind, just breathing. Just being aware of the body as a whole sitting here. We might feel like we are doing nothing, just another feeling, just one of those thoughts that must be held on to, must be believed in. Don't be so convinced. Noticing the arising of experiences, of feelings, a certain kind of experience. Breathing, being aware of the body, experiences, thoughts passing away. Pleasant sensations, pleasant experiences, unpleasant sensations, unpleasant experiences, or the memory of those experiences. Neutral, boredom. Do not be deceived by, do not be convinced by any sensations, any happenings at this moment. That is to say, the seeing is real. That which is seen is not. With each and every breath, with each and every moment of awareness of the body as a whole, continuing to practice seeing, continuing to practice non-deception. aware of the whole body sitting here at this moment. Aware of the whole body sitting here and breathing at this moment. Also, to know that this is exactly what is happening right now. This is reality. To know for yourself what reality is. With each breath, you know that you are breathing in. With each breath, you know that you are breathing out. Staying very close to this knowing, to this seeing. This just breathing, just being aware. All of the worries, troubles, responsibilities, concerns, fears, desires, all washing away, all burning up, dissolving, melting, totally, completely. Reality at this moment as it is. Just breathing, just being aware, the body sitting here at this moment, and to know that this is what is happening. This is life unfolding. This is what it's like to take off mask after mask, to experience non-deception after non-deception. There is such a joy, a peace, and a bliss that can be generated from our own body, from our own breath. All of that freedom we've been looking for outside, not only found inside, but found right now, experienced right now. Allowing the breath to breathe however it needs to breathe. Allowing the body to settle however it needs to settle. Allow the mind to work out whatever it needs to work out without any involvement, without any interference. Just breathing and being aware. All meat is pure meat. Every moment, every sensation, every experience, just as it is the doorway to awakening, the doorway to clear seeing. The calming, relaxing, refreshing of body and mind. Each moment is the moment. So don't be shy to be fully with the moment. This is certainly no other than our life. So to be with it fully, from the heart, from the breath, from the presence of the whole body, being with this experience. Let it relax. Let it fall away, whatever it happens to be. But also aware, awake, totally with it. Not dull, not hazy. Fully present to what's happening at this moment. We can feel the breath deep in the stomach. We can feel, notice the head and the shoulders. Quite a unique, interesting experience to have a head, to have shoulders. From our shoulders down into our arms, upper arms to the elbows, down into our forearms, wrists, hands. Oftentimes, the shoulders can be a source of tension, and that tension can be a source of mindfulness, awareness. We can find that a tight or unpleasant sensation, feeling, can actually be quite nice. Giving our full attention to the shoulders and arms, rather than relying so strongly on our idea about our shoulders and arms, connecting with this very direct lived experience of shoulders and arms, hands. We may find that more than sensations, more than feelings, we notice space, the spaciousness of the body. The spaciousness of our arms, of our shoulders. From our arms and shoulders into our chest, saying hello to the heart, even if we can't feel it beating. Moving down our spine and our back into our lungs, stomach, lower back, being clearly, distinctly aware of our midsection, our chest, breasts, stomach, lungs. Noticing the sensations in that chest, stomach, rib cage area, spine, back area. And also noticing the spaciousness of our midsection. Feeling the breath taking place in our midsection, stomach, our awareness flowing down into the very bottom of the spine, into the pelvis and the groin. The butt, the thighs, inner and outer, down to the knees, from the knees into our calves, ankles, feet. Noticing at this moment the full, rich, dynamic experience of having a body. This lived experience of the body at this moment. No arms, legs, hands, or shoulders, just this lived experience. Breathing and being aware. At this time, we can begin to move our body slowly from the left to the right. From the front to the back. Beginning to slowly move our body, slowly starting to stretch. We can roll our neck, the head going back, to the front. We can roll our head in the other direction. We can also give our face and our head and our neck a bit of a massage. So at this time, if anyone would like to ask any question or share about meditation experience, then we will have some time for that opportunity to share.
Um, After I don't know how long we meditated for, but in the beginning, when I was slowly gaining more focus, um, I was like, I could feel how the practice was like slowly excelling and like easing my mind. And I got to a point where I felt like I was just with one voice. Like your thoughts are sometimes they can feel like a lot of different things, but I felt like after a while, it was just me. Like it was just kind of what you would see as like your own voice. And then it was like weird. I felt like I was really like with just one voice. There was nothing, it was kind of weird, a weird experience. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for sharing. AD, did you want to share something?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So you might want to mute your microphone because it will make some little bit of noise. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, AD. So, Maya, you can keep in mind this teaching of the seeing is real. That which is seen is not. And so our practice is to continuously return to the seeing. The seeing is real. That which is seen is not. Meaning that it is impermanent, it is overall unsatisfactory, it will not satisfy you, and also that it is just a part of a interconnected experience. It doesn't exist separately from anything else. Connor, I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I had just a question about breathing. Um, when I've been breathing, I've been using something that my therapist taught me a long time ago. Um, and that's that you take a long inhale and then hold your breath at the top for a few seconds. I usually wait about like 3 heartbeats and then exhale through your mouth. like slowly, and then wait once you get to the end of that, and then kind of repeat. I was just kind of wondering what you do and if you have anything helpful.
Okay, thank you. So, what I recommend for this is that as you start your meditation practice and as you are calming and settling, breathe like that. And eventually, when you get settled, when you get really calm, just let your breath find a natural rhythm. Now, you may not get settled, you may not get calm, and so you can continue practicing your breathing in that way. But if you do find a time when there's a calm, there's a relax, you can at least experiment with letting go of that particular way of breathing and just letting it find a natural rhythm.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's also not a problem for you to um, continue breathing like that if you find that it's sustainable and that helps you to concentrate. Then you can breathe like that. It's all right.
Um, I actually have a question. Kind of
Okay, Kat.
ability.
Yeah.
I find myself seeking, seeking that sort of sustainable way of living, and I suppose, but I don't know if that is looking for.
You broke up for a moment. You got the sound
Sure.
broke up for a moment. Still breaking up a
Okay,
little bit.
is it fixed now?
It might be the voice settings. So it might be that you should go on like push to talk or turn your voice uh yeah, maybe push to talk usually works good.
Um,
You finding anything? Should be voice settings.
oh my, yeah, my computer is broken.
Oh, all right.
Oh, it's responding.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. You try.
Okay, I was just I I see myself trying to find like a sustainable way of living or existing in the world, and I guess I can't make it make sense in my head, and I'm wondering if that is what I should be setting my mind to. Yeah, that's it.
Well, you should set your mind to establishing yourself in peace and wellness and intimacy and being able to regulate so that you're concentrated and you're relaxed and that you can be content. That's really the key to sustainability is contentment. To be content, to be satisfied with what you have. And from that place of being satisfied with what you have, well, you can do just about anything because there's a stability, there's a simplicity, there's a platform on which you can do what you want to do or what you need to do. And if you can't get what you want or do what you want, it's fine because you're content. You're not in a state of struggle or stress, and so you can think more clearly. You can approach the situation in a more contemplative, comprehensive way when you have this platform of contentment on which to stand.
Yeah, I I I totally agree. And thank you for that. I find myself like giving myself an excuse to not feel content though very often. And usually it lies in like, oh, how could I let myself be content when there is so much suffering going on outside of my understanding? So that's an excuse I find myself to keep my find myself telling myself to keep myself miserable.
Hmm. So I think there's two sides to that coin. One is the more subtle suffering of yourself that you're not fully aware of, that you haven't fully addressed. And then there's the situation of, outside complex social situations, political situations, etc. And the solution to both of those is to connect more deeply with yourself, and that the journey is more important than the goal, and that actually the goal is participating in the journey, and then you'll find the goal depending on how much effort you put forth. But we get more realistic and we get more practical when we wear our own shoes, and we have to find our shoes. Our shoes don't exist in Wall Street or in the House or the Senate or in some political place or in some other city or in Ukraine or Russia. That's probably not where your shoes are. You're not heading a military organization. You're not heading an army of yourself that's ready to mobilize and overthrow the government for the common good, right? You're not in that situation. So the more that we are practical, grounded, stable, and simple, we can organize and we can take a look at what's possible for us to do according to this body, this mind, the resources that we have access to. And actually, I would say that what the world needs more than anything right now is people who have that ability to really be grounded, to say, well, hold on here, what can we actually do? How can we actually be practical? Instead of just constantly talking about theory, and what could be done, what should be done, what would be ideal to be done. That's not doing anything. And a lot of those kinds of conversations can only be had because of privilege. If you're freezing cold, you're going to learn how to get warm. You're not going to be talking about theory or the different ways to get warm. You're going to get warm. You're going to practice it. You're going to start moving your body. So simple, practical, grounded, and don't overthink it. And be very aware of the situation that you're in right now. That's the only place on which you can do anything from. That's the only place that you can act from. The more present that you are with your body, with your mind at this moment, the more practically that you're going to be able to pursue your intentions and do what you want to be able to do. But you're not going to be anywhere else. You're where you are right now, and that's going to continue to be the case for the rest of your life until your body dissolves. You're going to be where you are right now. So don't overthink it and try to move in that direction you want to move in, but also recognize that when we do this self-work, when we do this introspection, this contemplation, this cultivation, um, it empowers us to help other people. Not our idea of helping it, not the theory of what we could do or what we can do, but in doing it. It puts us in that position to do it at that moment when that moment comes up. So that's what I think about it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Kat.
I forgot what you said about seeing. Can you say it one more time?
Yes, Maya. The
Thank you.
seeing, the seeing is real. The seeing is true. That which is seen is not. That which is seen is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and not actually separate from anything else. So, whatever experience we have in meditation is essentially unsatisfactory. So, don't try to hold on to it. Is essentially impermanent. So, don't try to hold on to it because you cannot. And is also not what you believe it to be as a separate object. It just appears that way. But in fact, it is a totally interconnected phenomena, and you can't actually separate it from the things that you're separating it from. So the seeing is real, the being aware is real, but that which is coming into your awareness is just temporary, changing, not separate, not self, not soul, and is ultimately unsatisfactory. Okay. Anyone here at the temple have question? Something to share? Hmm.
I would like to share, but I think I think better start you again, please.
You want to share something?
Yes.
Okay.
But I
So
can also with microphone or with everything.
I will give you this microphone, this pen, this wooden pencil pen that has a microphone on it.
Yeah. Yeah, just to say that like the daily lessons that we got from Master Zen Empty Cloud for me was really important because gave me the sensation of that I'm like before I was not really sure about this meditation thing that yeah you have to empty your mind. So now I have more clear idea and I feel more comfortable to meditate in this way as the host and guest. So to be as a host. No, yeah, as a host. Yes. Yeah, that's it. I just find this lesson and that we got today really useful. Okay. Elena?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, tomorrow.
Okay.
Right. So one of the things that Mickey brought up that's very important, and I don't know if everyone here is joining for both of our sessions every day, but the reading that we went into today talked upon the very important topic of um, not trying to, when we meditate, not trying to have an empty mind. That to practice meditation and try to have an empty mind is a fool's errand. That this is actually, a state of no mind or a state of no thinking is a very high spiritual state. It's an advanced spiritual state. And so if you're a beginner, and we're most certainly all basically beginners, unless there's a kind of mysterious master hidden in our midst, that might be 80. Um, but and unless we're really developed, then uh, you don't just try and stop your thinking like that. It's a process, and the much better way to approach it is really being with the mind, being the host. And so the guest of our thoughts, our sensations, these kinds of things come up and they go away. And just like a good innkeeper, we don't try to keep people to stay longer, and we also don't try to push people out the door. They come, they stay, and they go. That's just how it is. There's a ancient Zen story from the founder of Zen, Bodhidharma, where he was living in a mountain cave facing the wall in China for 9 years. So he living in this mountain cave, this monk Bodhidharma come from India. He's sitting in this mountain cave and he's staring at a wall for 9 years. Eventually people hear about him. This is in ancient China, pre-recorded basically time in China. Recorded time, but very, very long time ago. We don't have written records from this time, for example. So eventually he was heard about, he was known about, and this monk, this person came to him and wanted to be his student, wanted to be his follower, wanted Bodhidharma to accept him as a student. And Bodhidharma wouldn't listen. And this is very common for, a great master. They're not going to be doing live streams on Reddit. Saying come and join for a group meditation. They really not going to be, interested in hearing from anyone for the most part. So this monk had heard about Bodhidharma and is going to try and be his student, and Bodhidharma just ignores him. So eventually, in the freezing cold, this freezing cold mountain, um, I think his name's Huike, but this monk goes up to Bodhidharma, cuts off his own arm, and presents it to Bodhidharma to show that he's serious. And this certainly, to a degree, this is what it takes to do meditation, to walk the path, is this depth of sincerity, this depth of willingness to try and to commit and to not just, you say, well, hey, what's meditation? And you don't get an answer. Or some people here, maybe you send me a DM and then I don't get back to you so quickly. So if you're serious about the question, you send it again, you ask again. I often give talks for people and they say, well, what's meditation? Or they message me after a talk and they say, what's meditation? And maybe I miss it or something. If you're really going to make progress, if you're really worthy to be spent time on, you're not just going to give up. If you're really someone who's going to listen, you're not just going to give up. You're going to try again. And so in this situation, Huike cut off his arm to try again, and Bodhidharma accept him as a student. Eventually, and I might be mixing together some stories, but that's how history is made anyway. And eventually, this student goes to Bodhidharma and says, okay, please, master, pacify my mind. Bring peace to my mind. And Bodhidharma says, okay, present it. And the student says, well, when I look for it, I can't find it. Bodhidharma says, there, I have pacified your mind. So we have to be willing to look for it, to not find it. Otherwise, we'll just wander around with two arms and we'll never get to be Bodhidharma's student. Okay, anything else? So, thank you all for joining. We'll just do our final sadhu chant together. It's nice to have a beginning, to have a middle, and to have an end. And so we chant that sadhu. That is to have an end, to come together and to chant that. And this word has this meaning of good, excellent, auspicious, ideal. And so we recognize, we understand that when we do meditation practice, when we look inward, when we investigate, when we go deeper, not just stay at the surface level of our lives, it's skillful, it's auspicious, it's wholesome, it's good for us to do. It brings benefit to ourselves and to others. And so as we chant sadhu to finish, we really recognize that deeply and we bring that up together. Okay? So we can all bring our hands together. One moment. Okay. Sadhu. 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 All right. Deep thanks to everyone. And we will continue our twice daily practices at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. New York time. So you are invited to continue participating and to know that you do have a space here, a community here, a non-sectarian Buddhist online temple space here, and we do have these two group meetings, meditations every day, and you're a member of this community, so you're very invited to join and participate regularly. Okay? Good night and good luck. All right, sadhu, sadhu.
È stato aperto.